Hello, I am excited to do something a little bit different today. I am interviewing a new friend, Robin, who owns a beautiful store in Columbus, Ohio, and has a called The Nest, and then has a traveling trailer that she takes with her to all the wool festivals called Birdie. And I have interviewed her. I'm going to have you guys watch that, and then I'll come back at the end to wrap things up. But enjoy Robin. She just has a wonderful story of how she got started. She is a longtime knitter and just has the most beautiful yarn and accessories and the most gorgeous leather bags to put everything in. You're going to love her. And if you are anywhere in Ohio and able to go to the wool gathering, she will be there this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then her last event of the year, she'll tell you about in the video. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Take two. This is Cindy Walter, the Healthy Knitter, and I am so excited to not only have a new friend on here with you today, Robin, but I'm going to have her share her story. She has a beautiful, beautiful store 2 hours from me in Columbus, Ohio, and I met her at a festival, my first festival in Worcester. She travels with her beautiful, beautiful yarns. So first of all, thank you for being here, Robin.
My pleasure, Cindy. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, I've just been in love with you since I met you. My girlfriend Lisa had worn a sweater she made with your yarn, so she couldn't wait to come and show you that sweater. And then since then, I've been following you, and I get on and watch I don't always see them live Friday at fives, but I watch a lot of them, and I just love you. So I'm so excited to meet you in person here and hear your story. So can we start there? Could you share how long have you been
Absolutely.
knitting, and then how did you end up opening up a store of your own?
Absolutely. So I, like many others, learned to knit as a child from my mom and my grandma. So I learned to, probably make the most horrendous long crochet chains. And I learned the knit and purl stitch and probably dabbled in that over the many years. And then I had two friends who were very avid knitters, and they kind of that passion just came again. So I took every class that I could find, and just really developed a love for knitting. So, and I've always had the dream of having a yarn shop. So, but I always had that corporate job, and you can't do both. You have to do one or the other. You have to be present when you actually have a business. So I happen to be with a non-knitting friend. We have those non-knitting friends and knitting friends, right? Yes.
Right?
So we were at a festival in, I think, Newark, Ohio, the Mid Ohio Fiber Festival many years ago, and the Buffalo Yarn truck was there from Texas. So they had kind of like a step van, but a little more robust than that. So I popped on and I'm like, oh, wow, this is really cool. So I'm happened to be married to someone he's an electrical engineer, but he drag races for a hobby. So, he does all the things. So I snapped a couple pics. I came home and I'm like, what do you think of this? And he's like, oh, we can do that. So I'm like, okay. So we took several months to find the right vehicle. Birdie, which is the nickname for my RV, was not what I originally wanted. So there were a few yarn trucks in the US at the time. The very first, I believe, was the Yarn Over truck out of Southern California. So Meredith and Barbara had that truck. And they had just an old Debbie cake truck. So that's what I wanted. But Tom kept insisting, no, if we find something that you can afford is going to have hundreds of thousands of miles on it, it's not going to be comfortable. You want air conditioning, you want electric, you want comfortable seating. So we ended up with Birdie, and that again is another story. I'm a firm believer that things happen for reasons, and you a lot of times are in the right place at the right time, and that was one of those things with Birdie. So we bought it for a song, brought it home, and spent probably the next 6 months building it out. Now we're that couple that has lots and lots of friends and contacts. So we had a friend that built the cubbies. We had a friend that did the flooring. we're both pretty handy ourselves. So, you'll find wallpapered ceiling in there, wallpaper on the walls. We did a lot of painting, just all kinds of things. So that's kind of how Birdie originated.
What year was that, Robin?
This was in 2015, probably, and then Birdie started rolling in 2016.
Okay. And then how long after that did you actually open up the nest?
So probably about the same year, but in a much smaller capacity. So the nest is a dwelling at the back of our property. We live on 8 acres in Columbus, Ohio. Um, so this was a 3-car garage. I happen to have had a friend that I worked with who drove back and forth from Roanoke, Virginia. So he offered to build this dwelling if we bought the materials. So we're like, sure, yeah, we can do that. And he lived upstairs for a short time. And then he took a job with Verizon and moved to New York. So that didn't pan out. So we ended up renting it to a friend. They lived in it for like 4 years. He had the downstairs piece, which is literally a 3-car garage. And then when we didn't renew his lease, so because I knew it would make a great Airbnb space, and I knew this would be a wonderful studio space. So I kind of decorated it based a little bit around Birdie. If you've been in Birdie, you'll notice there's a little chandelier. Well, in the nest, there are 3 amazing chandeliers. So, but it still is a 3-car garage. And I love opening up the doors in the fall weather. When we're only open one day a week here on Wednesdays from noon to 7. So any other time, the truck is out rolling somewhere. I don't want to be that full-time brick and mortar shop any longer.
Sure.
Like the truck, I retired from a corporate job about a year ago. So I just love this, what I have now, because it works for me.
Sure.
And it works for everybody else too. So
okay, well, this is going to probably be a very hard question, but what is your favorite festival that you've done?
Oh, that is a hard question, Cindy. Oh my gosh. So the show this weekend, which is a wool gathering at Young's Dairy in Yellowsprings, just before you get into Yellowsprings, Ohio, was the very first festival that I ever did. So it probably is nearest and dearest to my heart. I love Jill and Stu Young, who have organized that show for the past many years. They're amazing. And I've grown with them. So it's just been a really great show. But probably one of my other really favorites is the Kentucky Fiber Festival in Lexington, Kentucky. So I love the organizer of that show. It's a little smaller show, but I love the area. I love Lexington, but it's just a great show. And we were one of the first trucks at a lot of these festivals in the Midwest. So we have some really great parking spots. So
that's great. And
yeah.
from what I can see, you've also just made lots of friends everywhere you go at these festivals. And that was going to be my next question is, what is the best thing that's come from you doing this since you've been?
Oh my gosh. So I think when you first get into knitting or crochet or whatever your fiber art is, everything kind of changes. Your friendships change. They, like I mentioned, we have our non-knitting friends and our knitting friends now. We have non-knitting friends that are worthy of our knitting. We have, there's all of that. But honestly, I think the friendships that I've developed over the years is my best part of this whole adventure.
Yeah. And I think, what's got me to do this YouTube channel and really take my knitting to the next level is the community piece of it. I just love how everyone is so loving and kind, and knitting, I teach and preach that it helps manage stress, and people are living so stressed all the time. So I'm always trying to get my non-knitting friends and clients to take it up because I think it will help them manage stress. But I just think it's a beautiful thing. And we're just so willing to help each other. And it's the community for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We do 2 open knits here in the nest on Wednesdays. We do a 1 to 3 and a 5 to 7. So, and they're so much fun. We have some new knitters that come and hang out. So I love watching their aha moment when they get it, when they understand that pattern, or they
Yeah.
they understand that stitch. And I think that's just, one of the best parts of having an actual shop is
Yeah.
just those aha moments.
Oh, sure. I'm going to have to get down there for a Wednesday because a
Yes.
couple of the classes you've had and people you've brought in that I've really wanted to come to. I had significant things like my daughter coming home from Chicago for a wedding that I couldn't escape to get down there. But I just need to come down on a Wednesday and hang out.
You absolutely do. Yeah,
Yeah.
some great groups. We've had, it's really been and I thought, I had an uncle many years ago who said, just ask, all they can say is no. So I have no problem asking anybody. So, and I got to know the grocery girls over the years, and I reached out to Jody and Tracy. I'm like, so would you consider coming to Columbus, Ohio to my shop? And, so that's just kind of how that started. But we've had some really wonderful guests here. And that's what the Nest is all about. We're only open on a Wednesday to the public, but we do a lot of special events. We have an Airbnb upstairs, so I love it when I get that group that books the coop, we call it, because the outside of this building looks like a chicken coop. But I love when we get that group that books up there. They're also knitters, so we can hang out also down here in the Nest. So it's a win-win.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well, that just gives my head spinning now of bringing friends down there.
yeah,
Okay. So, with all that you have going on, do you have much time to knit? And what is your favorite thing to knit?
I have no time to knit. I try to knit in the evenings. I have like 5 or 6 sample knitters. So all of the samples that you see on the truck or in the Nest, I've knit some, but thank goodness for my sample knitters, because if it weren't for them, you wouldn't see much. And samples sell yarn.
They do.
So
They
we
do.
always try to have very classic, very timeless, and current patterns on the truck. So yeah,
Yeah, I love that. So personally, your favorite thing to knit?
sweaters.
Yeah, me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Hands down. Are you a
absolutely.
sock? I see you are doing socks with a machine.
Yeah,
I just bought at actually the Worcester Festival. I bought cranked socks for the first time, and
excellent.
I did the afterthought heel, which I've never done before.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
got 2 sets of socks out of it. It was a little harder than I thought, but I think it was because the wool that I bought, it was very sticky. So to get it to separate was not easy.
Oh, I bet. So I had an Erlbacher, which I think was the most popular at one point. But then Jamie Mayfield designed a machine. It's called the True Knit. So it, if you're going to buy a machine, the Erlbacher is great. However, the True Knit is amazing. So, and you can cut that out if you want.
Yeah, no, 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 absolutely not. I want people to
But
know.
the True Knit is awesome. I don't drop near as many stitches. I think with this machine, I'm finally going to get that drawer full of socks. I like knitting socks, but if I'm knitting, I'm going to be knitting a sweater, or a sample for the truck or whatever. But the True Knit machine is amazing. We host Jamie and Sue Vaneski here once a year for sock school. So if you end up with a machine, Cindy, let me know so we can fit you into sock school next year. But
So you have to have a machine to come.
you have to have a machine,
Okay.
and you have to be able to crank a tube.
Okay. And when you're doing them now, do you crank the tube and then do cuffs, heels, and toes
No,
after?
no.
No. Oh
This
dear.
machine does your heels and your toes. The only thing you're doing when you take it off of the machine, I thought I had one sitting here, is just the Kitchener.
Oh wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Maybe
amazing.
we'll even teach people how to do the Kitchener on the machine. So I haven't gotten that far. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. All right. Well, for the people that can't be with us in Yellow Springs next weekend, I know you have an online business as well.
we
Chat about that and let everybody know where they can find you and where you'll
yeah.
be. I think you
So
have another festival after Yellow Springs.
we
So
do one more after this. So yarnbirds.com is YARNBYRDS.com. And it's Yarnbirds also on Facebook and Instagram. Um, What else did you want me to say?
Your online store, do you pretty much sell everything that you have in your store online?
Primarily, if we're focusing on something primarily at a show, we'll take it off of online. It's too hard to sell both online and at the show, and the person who's ordering it online is going to lose. So we don't like that. I hate to disappoint customers, but we try to keep an eye on that. So the redesign project bags have been major popular over the past few months. So we took those off the online when we were in Wisconsin, and we've only got a handful of those left for Yellow Springs. We're going to bring in a few more for Cake Palooza, which is our last show of the season, which I think it's the Friday of Rhinebeck of the New York Sheep and Wool, which I want to say 16th or 17th of October.
Okay.
I think that's right, somewhere around there, guys. Look that up. Don't quote me on that. So that's our last show. We'll be hosting Rachel Azizi Textiles, who is a dyer here in Ohio. And if you follow Chevy Rell, who is Sheva, she's also a podcaster. She's super funny. She's one of my very good friends, and Rachel Azizi's Textiles is actually doing some exclusive colorways based around Chevis's stuff room and Chevis's favorite drink and that sort of thing. So
yeah, I love her. Grab your drink.
Grab a drink. Yes.
Yeah. Love her. Love her. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll put everything in the show notes, but thank you so much for being here with us today. Any parting words of maybe even just some, like going to the festival, how to prepare. Let's end on that.
Yes.
That's what we were going to talk about.
Yes. So for when you're planning to go to a fiber festival, especially if it's your first one, it can be extremely overwhelming, guys. Because you maybe you're a new knitter, or maybe you just don't know what to expect. So at Yellow Springs, there'll be a line to get in, and I don't know if they charge at that event or not. Some do, some don't. Generally, it's nominal, so it's no big deal. There'll be 4 trucks at this event, and you'll see us first before you get to the barns. But do some research. Ravelry is an awesome tool, and you can filter it by knit and crochet, or different weights of yarns, 1 or 2 colors, or whether you're knitting a sweater or a cowl or a hat or whatever. So it's a great tool. So kind of figure out what you want your project to be and what yarn you want to knit it in. And then kind of go through the list of vendors, because they'll all be listed somewhere. And I think Wool Gathering primarily posts on Facebook. I don't know if they have a website. I can't
They
imagine.
do.
They? Okay.
Yeah.
So go through the list of vendors and, check the ones that you want to see. And then follow them on Facebook. I don't know that they do Instagram, but I know on Facebook, a lot of us will put on there what we're bringing. As far as yarn birds, we're bringing a lot of our sweater yarns, our woolly wools. We'll have Peace Fleece on the truck. We'll have the Fiber Co. Cumbria. We got some amazing samples this year for that show. We'll also have whatever we have left of the redesign bags. Those are going quickly. So get there early if you're looking for a redesign bag. I think we have some 10s and 9s left, and maybe a couple of 90s, which are really big. So we have a few of those. The truck is set up to where we have a feature wall. So on our feature wall, we have Life in the Long Grass, which is a yarn out of Ireland. So we have their fingering weight yarn there. We also have Studio Donegal Darnies, which is a fingering, which is a tweed. But we have, and in the truck, it just kind of goes down. We have some sport, we have some TK, we have Feederbrook, Walcott. I mean, there is something for everybody, and there is something for everybody at this festival and every festival. So just kind of do your research, decide what you want to knit or what you want to crochet, research the vendors, find your yardage, how much yardage you need, what the size is, kind of make a snap, on your phone or whatever. Put it in your favorites, in your Ravelry. So yeah, so things like that. Be prepared.
Yeah.
But if you're looking, if you don't know, but you fall in love with just one skein of sock yarn, buy it, but get it thin because it may not be there when you go back. And you can always knit a pair of socks. You can always double it for a hat.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this time I'm going with patterns ready to go because the last time I just was, I was so new and everything I saw in every booth, I wanted everything. It was ridiculous.
I know.
And those bags are definitely going to be a part of my future. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I've seen Table 10, we're talking about them on their podcast. And that's the bag I think I have to have. What is it, the 39?
The 39. Now we're out of stock of those, but I have an order in the wings. So yeah. So we'll get them back in. So yeah.
Yeah, they're all amazing. Well, I can't wait to see you. We're going to meet at Birdie to get a picture, and we will see you there. Thank you so much for sharing today. I can't wait to
welcome.
see the nest. And yeah, it was just a pleasure to be with you today.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you and your group at Yellowsprings.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this little twist on my podcast and enjoyed time getting to hear from Robin, hear her story. Down below in the description, I have links to her website and also to the Wool Gathering. If that is something that you are considering going to, follow her advice and go to the website and click on all the vendors, and you can see there are tons of them. I thought there were around 100. She said closer to 200 vendors, and everything you can imagine will be there, and you can get yourself a little planned and organized and prepared by going to the website first. But hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing some more interviews like this, so thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your supports and comments. And if you have any suggestions of someone maybe that I could interview, please let me know. Have a fabulous day.